In the second part of this topic about dimension lines, we will talk about tips, tricks, and additional options. Now, suppose in this dimension line, I want to delete one of these segments. Maybe one or two of these are not necessary in my drawing. If I try to select just a part, it doesn't work by just clicking on it. You can see that I select the full dimension line. However, there is an easy way to do this. Do you remember that we can use the Tab button on the keyboard to switch between overlapping objects? That also works here. I press Tab when hovering over this segment, and now that it turned blue, I can click to select just this dimension line and then press Delete to get rid of it. Now there are two different elements. You can see that I have to select one at a time. In the next example, I'm going to create a dimension line, but this time using individual references. I picked these two reference lines. Then, to place just this dimension, I just click anywhere out of an individual reference. That's what I showed to you before. But let's repeat this. I pick the same lines, and then if I choose another reference, it adds a continuous dimension line here. And of course, I can keep doing this process until I'm happy with the result. As you can see, this is also a quick way to have several dimension segments. One big advantage here, when comparing to auto-dimensioning, is that I can choose the references by myself. Another important thing, suppose I made a mistake in the selection. I don't need to worry about that because I can always click on a witness line, which is this dimension extension line, to remove it. Okay, witness lines can be added or removed after a dimension is placed on the project. For that, I have to select the object, and on the ribbon there is an option here, Edit Witness Lines. Click there. And I can add a new witness line by just picking a new reference. For example, the side of this door. Also, I can choose a reference inside the segment to split it. Or even remove a witness line if I click on an existing one. At the end, click on an empty place to confirm the changes. And also don't press Escape, because it will cancel what you were doing. Constraints. When I select a dimension line, you can see these locks on each segment. At this moment, all of them are open, meaning that these dimensions may change if I move the position of the walls or windows. Instead, let's click on this lock. And what I did was constrain the distance from the limit of the external wall and the window. Now it has a fixed value of 1.11 meters. I select this wall, and you can see the indication of the constraint here. If I move the wall towards the right, the elements of the wall below move to keep this distance of 1.11 meters unchanged. Let's set a specific distance between the wall where my stairs are attached and the external one, instead of a random distance, for example 5. Another functionality in dimension lines is the dimension equality. Have a look at the wall on the right. First, I'm going to add an extra window here. I can go to the Modify tab, click on Copy, select the window, press Enter, pick up this endpoint, and place a new window here. Then I'm going to add a new dimension, I'm going to choose Entire Walls, and in Options, I'm going to specify Centers and remove the check mark from Intersecting Walls. Click OK. And then I'm going to add an Align dimension to this wall. Now, you can notice this EQ with a red slash on it. And it's not very easy to see because it's quite small. If I hover over it, it says Toggle Dimension Equality. Basically, if I click there, the windows are automatically moved in a way that these 3 dimensions will have the same value. And look that even if I increase the wall, the equality always stays. Now, you might ask yourself a question. In case the EQ symbol is displayed, how can we know the length of these dimensions? If I select the dimension, then right-click, you can see a check mark on EQ display. Click on it, and you can see that the values are shown instead. However, they are still in the equality constraint mode. We can notice that because the EQ symbol is displayed without a slash. But how to remove a dimension equality? The answer is simple. Select the dimension and click on the EQ to remove the constraint. It's just as simple as that. However, what I think usually happens is people tending to select the dimension and delete it right away. Then we get this warning message. Basically, we are removing the dimension, but the elements are still constrained. This way also works, but make sure you press Unconstrain here.